Yeah.
In our home fries on pastry dough. So we did happy birthday. God, the Most High, my life creator or source.
We are one, the found, the found.
Hey y'all. My name is Ashley-Nicole Phillips, and you are tuned in to Magic Meals with me, Ashley-Nicole Phillips. I am the biblically prophesied Messiah. Full circle moment alert. So are you. Why Ashley? What I have in me, you have in you. What you have in you, I have in me. We're all dimensions, frequencies, authentic frequencies, dimensions of the oneness of all things, of the Most High, commonly termed as God, and most of our consciousnesses that we share, commonly termed as God. I channel healing energies and messages within my podcast, Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips, which is available to stream for free on YouTube as well as Spotify. It is linked below in the description of this Magic Meals episode. Within Magic Meals, I intuitively cook. Whatever my ancestors and my soul, the oneness of all things, tells me to put in the pot, the pan, the baking dish. This is what I put into the pot, the pan, the baking dish today, y'all. We already know what we're cooking. We're gonna make a tofu dumpling soup. Never made it before. I did do some pre-production, not gonna lie. I looked online on YouTube and watched a YouTube tutorial on how to make dumpling wrappers, flour dumpling wrappers. So I perceive this, we're all multidimensional, so, we can all go inside and channel energies to embody, to co-create whatever it is we're trying to create. So that's what we're gonna do in this episode of Magic Meals. So we're doing our tofu dumpling. I do know I want to use a surprise randomly picked seasoning. Let's go over to our random picker. All right, y'all, here we go. Let's look at our list on our random picker, our seasonings random picker list. We have star anise, bay leaves, taco seasoning. I know, y'all. Let's make this a challenge. Cinnamon, let's make this a challenge. Cajun seasoning, let's make this a challenge. So let's see here. Random picker, select one. Again, this is going to be for our tofu dumpling soup. We got to get a random ingredient to make it fun. Taco seasoning, y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. We literally got the one ingredient where I was like, okay, I'm putting this on the list just to make it fun. But it's not gonna be chosen. We're not gonna actually have to cook our tofu dumpling soup with the taco seasoning, so it don't even matter. It's not gonna be chosen. We don't put it on the list for kicks and giggles. Y'all, we're cooking our tofu dumpling soup with taco seasoning. Let's go to the store. All right, it's like a day later. Nonetheless, we are in the grocery store looking for our taco seasoning for our tofu dumpling soup. I'm excited. You can't tell I'm enthused. So let's see, we have the seasonings over here. Oh, okay, cool. We got a sale going on. Mateo's taco seasoning. We got a sale 10 for 10, so $1. Let's see what flavors we have. We have let's get it in. We have mild Southwest ranch, medium ancho chili, hot chipotle. I'm really vibing towards the medium ancho chili. We're gonna do the medium ancho chili. Let's grab it. Got a couple things in my hand. And let's get back to the kitchen. I'm gonna tell y'all why I was nervous. I'm gonna stop speaking bad juju on myself. But I was nervous about the dumpling dough because we're doing our dumpling dough from scratch. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I practiced yesterday and it is good. Ooh, our dumpling dough is good and it's so simple and so easy. Shout out to other content creators in the world because I definitely utilize other content creators along with my intuitive guidance to co-create these episodes of Magic Meals. let's get to cooking. Let's grab a few ingredients from the refrigerator. So our dough that we made, right now it's resting for 30 minutes. We actually have our dough that we prepared last night. Same recipe, exact same method. So we have some on hand to save some time and to continue to prepare our tofu dumpling soup, mystery ingredient taco seasoning. So as y'all can see, we have our dough from last night. I used it this morning as well. So baby, I was just dipping my hands in, but making the dumplings. Feeling really abundant, extremely abundant. Where we're actually gonna, let's do this. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna have a little bit of tofu crumble here. We're gonna add some more of our tofu into this bowl and crumble it with a fork. So we're using extra firm tofu. It's my preference to use extra firm tofu. Give me 1 second, let me fix the camera. It is my preference to utilize extra firm tofu while I'm cooking, especially for savory dishes. But whatever tofu you feel called to use, intuitively guided to use this. Grabbing a fork, and I have some tofu cut up here. So we're gonna put a couple of, one more chunk should be fine. Yeah, we'll use one more chunk of tofu. Because what we're gonna do is, and it all depends on how many dumplings you're making. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, with this mystery ingredient, I don't wanna put all my tofu with the taco seasoning, because I'm not sure if we're gonna love it. We're gonna do it for the challenge, but are we gonna love it? We're gonna see. So now we're just smashing the tofu with our fork. Smashing the tofu with our fork in the bowl. Until we get a crumble consistency. Let me bring the bowl closer to the camera. Until we get a crumble consistency like this. Yeah. Until we get a crumble consistency. Now let's go grab our mystery ingredient from the pantry. We have Mateo's taco seasoning, medium ancho chili, uniquely different. Ooh, I didn't see this on the package. Uniquely different. Now these tacos look like they're delicious. These tacos look like they're good, delicious. We're gonna see how this taco seasoning stands up in our tofu dumpling, and our tofu dumpling soup. All right, so this is how I chose to incorporate. We chose to incorporate the taco seasoning. We're not gonna actually put it in our broth. I thought that would be too wild, or it's just not my preference. This smells like taco seasoning. It smells like taco seasoning. However you want to incorporate your taco seasoning in your tofu dumpling recipe, come back, put it in the comments. Let me know where I can go watch a video or see a picture on how you utilize your taco seasoning. Because again, this is Magic Meals Intuitively Cooking. So however you thought to utilize the taco seasoning in your tofu, you're like, Ashley, I didn't think to do taco seasoning. I did not think to do taco seasoning in my tofu dumpling soup, but this is what it called for. I know you saw that's the mystery ingredient we got. So when we got this mystery ingredient, what did you think to do? Come back in the comments, put it in the comments. Let us know what you decided to do, how you decided to incorporate your taco seasoning within your taco seasoning dumpling soup, tofu dumpling soup. Now, if you want to use another protein, like steak, chicken, beef, Again, come back, put it in the comments. Let me know how you liked it. And let us know where we can go watch a video or see a photo of your take rendition on the recipe. Now, yeah, so when I prepared this dumpling soup as a practice run, I did not put any seasoning in the tofu. It was really delicious, right? Really satisfying. But there wasn't any seasoning in the tofu. The broth is super seasoned though. So we're gonna see how this works out. Ooh, y'all, it smells like tacos. But you know how all is a mind, principle of the universal law, all is a mind. So use our mind power to say it smells like chives and what else? Ginger. What else? Like maybe like a sriracha or like spices, like Asian inspired ingredients. Let's use our mind power. Yeah, let's use our mind power, y'all. Let's use this mind power because I did not think we were gonna choose the taco seasoning. But look, y'all, as you can see, our tofu and our taco seasoning is incorporated really well, really nice. Hold on, let me hit the light over here. Give me 1 second. Our taco seasoning and tofu has been incorporated extremely well. Look, a little tofu scramble. And we've done tofu scramble on the channel as well under the brunch catalogs. It's looking like our tofu scramble, but it is actually our filling for our tofu dumpling soup. All right, y'all. So let's put this to the side, put that to the side. Now what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead and prepare our broth for our soup. Let's go over to the stove. So as y'all can see, I tilted the camera down so that we can see what we're doing with our hands, with our cooking. So we have our bowl of all-purpose flour. I'm using regular all-purpose flour. You can use whatever flour you would like. Whatever flour you feel intuitive guided to use, or whatever flour aligns with your dietary needs. So we have our flour here, y'all. So we have our flour. We're gonna put this to the side. We have a second bowl of flour that we'll use to incorporate into our dough to make sure we get the right stiffness on our dough. Now I have a cup of water. This is cold water. Use your intuition, because I watched a couple of videos on YouTube where there was a preference for cold versus warm water. I am using cold water, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put some baking. This looks like about 3 teaspoons of baking powder. Again, we're intuitively cooking, so it's whatever your soul guidance, however your soul guidance tells you to move around the kitchen and flick your wrist. That's how you move out around the kitchen and flick your wrist, okay? So we're just gonna go ahead and stir in and allow our baking powder to dissolve into our water. And again, we're using cold water. So we're gonna go ahead and stir, stir, stir. Stir, stir, stir. So it's all incorporated here. Now we're gonna go ahead and pour our water and our flour. And I would say this is about 2.5 cups of flour. Again, it all just depends. We're gonna incorporate our baking powder and water solvent slowly. Again, it's all about how much you want to create, how much you're wanting to make. Just kind of eyeball it and do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna probably eat these for these dumplings. I'm gonna use this dumpling dough for the next couple of days. I'm gonna do dumplings for dinner for the next couple of days because it's just so good. And I'm just like that. That's just a part of my nature, baby. Whenever I master a new recipe, I'm trying to, like, I get into a swing where I'll eat it for like a week or two. A week and a half, I'll eat it every night. I'll have the recipe every night. The last time I did this was the chickpea salad recipe, which is on the channel. I intuitively was guided. Now I've seen chickpea salad recipes online, and I was intuitively guided to go ahead and hook up the chickpea salad recipe. And I'm not gonna lie, before I even recorded the episode, I had it for about 2 or 3 nights before. So I knew it was, you know, I knew the recipe is reliable and delicious and tasty. So yeah. So this is the last time I found a recipe that I really liked and ate it repetitively over a few days. And these dumplings are the same. I'm gonna eat these for a while. Like, I now know how to make dumplings. I know how to make dumplings. We know how to make dumplings because we're doing it together. Hold on, y'all. Let me move the camera up so y'all can see inside the bowl. So I can see what's going on inside the bowl. So as y'all can see, we're adding in our baking soda. I'm sorry, we're using baking powder. We are using baking powder. It's a double active baking powder. We're using baking powder, and again, about 3 teaspoons. And we are loving up on our dough. Now that we, added the baking powder and water, it's not that much dough, which is good. I mean, it's not, it's not wildly abundant, but it's abundant. So I'm not mad at that. And we're not mad at wildly abundant either. Let's go ahead and say that, universal forces. We are not mad about wildly abundant. We enjoy and appreciate wild abundance, wild, divinely aligned, balanced abundance. Wild, divinely aligned, balanced abundance. All right, so we're just incorporating with the fork. We're gonna start kneading with our hands shortly. One thing about me, I kind of don't like kneading with my hand, kneading dough with my hand. It gets icky. It gets a little icky, and I don't love it per se. Normally, I'll put on some kitchen gloves, some, little plastic, thin film kitchen gloves. But I'm not sure where those are. They've been moved around the kitchen. I'm not sure where those are. Now this bowl on the side. This is what this bowl. We got this bowl for. You see how we're still wet? Our dough is still wet. We're gonna incorporate some more flour. Shoot, we might not even use our hands, but we probably will. We're gonna incorporate some more flour and continue to knead with our fork until we feel like we want to start kneading with our hands. Deep dive into this chest line. So we want to start kneading with our hands. Hey, hips, girl. So we feel like we want to start kneading with our hands. Paradise. This goes this side. So we'll go ahead and start kneading with our hands. And we have our beautiful pink plate. When the dough gets nice and we're gonna knead for about 3 or 4 minutes. When the dough gets nice and to a good stiff yet kind of elastic consistency, we'll go ahead and put our dough on the plate to rest for about 30 minutes. And again, like I said, I've been eating it. I've been working on the recipe for this dough. I just wanted to garner confidence. I wanted to gain confidence around doing the dough. So I went ahead and prepared the dumpling dough last night. I actually had it last night for dinner, as well as for breakfast. So I definitely know it's satisfying, it's delicious, and it's a super easy recipe. Just a couple of ingredients: flour, water, baking powder, or yeast. I saw most recipes use yeast. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I worked through it in the spirit. I had a kind of aversion to yeast, dry yeast, for cooking. Because when I was a kid, I tried my hand at preparing cinnamon rolls from scratch. I did it twice. And the first time, like, they're delicious, but the dough didn't rise the way I wanted, like Cinnabon. You know, like Cinnabon rolls, the way the dough rises. The dough didn't rise like that. The dough was kind of stiff and hard. Just a little bit, just a tinge. But like as a kid, I feel like I might have been like 13, 14. As a kid, you know, making cinnamon sticky buns from scratch. It was a great effort, and they were tasty. So like ever since then, I tried it twice, and the second time the dough still didn't rise the way I preferred it to rise. The way I thought I wanted the dough to rise. I preferred the dough to rise. So I gave up. I haven't made the cinnamon rolls since. So it sounds like we have our next Magic Meals episode. Magic Meal style cinnamon rolls from scratch. I think this sounds like a bet. All right, so our dough is pretty much good to go. I do kind of feel like it's still a little wet, still a little moist, so we're gonna add just a little bit more flour and continue to knead the dough. Now the incorporation of the taco seasoning, we're gonna see how we do it. And y'all saw, like, that was not the ingredient that I prefer to be chosen. But you know, y'all saw the synchronicity. The grocery store had the 10 for $1. It was destined. It was predestined for us to do this episode. Tofu, dumpling soup, with using taco seasoning. It was predestined. It was predestined. Just like our human dharmic purpose, I channeled within my podcast, Kingdom Things Podcast, as biblically prophesied. I'm not sure what your creed is, your belief system, your religious practices are. Whatever they are necessary, intended, and dimensions and needed parts of the whole operation of all things. I channeled with using my soul wisdoms from the divine as biblically prophesied, Christian Bible and many other religious texts and philosophies and doctrines. The human being, we have been created to be the mirror of the divine, or limitless potentials in the tangible. We're having the bouts of Satori, spiritual awakening. We're remembering, and the masses are divine inheritance, our promised lands, or the remembrance that we're one with infinite potentials, our infinite dimensions, infinite possibilities, in order to align with the soul wisdom remembrances to co-create realities that reflect our infinite potentials. Which brings me to the Magic Meals call to action. Sit with yourself for at least 1 hour a day consecutively. Ask yourself, hey soul, what do I need to know to remember, come into alignment with my limitless potentials, to begin to show up as, embody the energies, manifest the life that I intended to co-create on a God level or soul level or remembrance level, infinite, omnipotent potential level before I incarnated. Wait for the answers because they will show up. However they show up for you, we all have our own lingo or our own language with the universes or with creation or with the divine or ourselves or the oneness of all things, to grow into deeper intimacy with ourselves or our limitless potentials. I think our dough is ready. Our dough is a great consistency, a nice consistency. As y'all can see, we're gonna go ahead and put it on our plate here, on our pink plate. And we're gonna do this next step because it was a tip that I got watching another content creator on YouTube. Thank you so much. Give me 1 second. Let me wash my hands first. So I'm getting a cloth. It's actually a paper towel. You can get a cloth if you would like to use a cloth and just dampened it. I'm setting this on top of our dough. This tip was used by another cook creator on YouTube. a way so that the dough doesn't dry out. I can't remember exactly the reason was, but I used it yesterday, and the dough worked, you know, beautiful dough. So we're gonna use this technique again. All right, y'all, so we have a bit of broth. We're gonna use the same broth recipe that I prepared yesterday. I have a bit left, but I wanted to prepare the broth on camera, so in the event you wanted to use the same recipe, you'll see us make it in action. So we have our a bit of olive oil on the bottom of the pan. You can use whatever oil you would like to use. And now we're gonna add a bit of better than bouillon seasoning. You can use whatever bouillon type of seasoning you would like to use. I'm using the brand Better Than Bouillon. And it's the no chicken, so it tastes like chicken, but it's not chicken. It's a vegetarian broth substitute, or bouillon seasoning substitute. So I'll get another spoon to kind of get that off of there. Let's see here. Yeah, so we have our, I'm using olive oil. Use whatever oil you would like. Olive oil in the pan. We have our Better Than Bouillon. We're using the not chicken, so it tastes like chicken. If you use a different seasoning combination, come back, put it in the comments. Let us know what you used. We are a village, so you know, if you have some other ideas, definitely share them. So you know, in the event that we want to try something different, we have your idea, we have your rendition available. And now I'm adding these are the wrong herbs, and it's completely fine. I grabbed the Southern style spices, Italian seasoning herbs. So it's like oregano, thyme. This is not what I intended to grab. Give me 1 second, y'all. It's completely fine. It's all right. We're okay. We're okay. I have a garlic and herb. I'm going to turn the fire off momentarily because I don't want it to start popping everywhere. So we added the Italian seasoning. That's fine. That's completely fine. We're okay. I'm utilizing intentionally a garlic and herb blend from our local grocery store. Use whatever, you know, spices and seasonings you feel guided to use. So we have our garlic and herb blend here. Adding that with our bouillon, and now we have, you know, Italian seasonings as well. Perfectly fine, right? Perfectly fine. And then we're gonna add just a little bit of chili pepper, a little bit of chili powder. I want just like a little tinge of spice. I don't want a lot of spice. I don't really like a lot of spice like that. So just a tinge of spice. So I'll use a chili pepper powder. I'll use a chili pepper powder over cayenne. Like cayenne is super spicy. We have a bit of chili powder here. So yeah, if you want to use cayenne or a different type of chili powder, go ahead and do that. Do this. And now we're going to add a little bit of honey. A little bit of honey to the mixture. And however you want to add it, because it's going to give however much honey you want to have, because the broth it's an Asian inspired, like an Asian inspired tangy sweet broth that we're going for. And now let's go ahead and now we're going to add our soy sauce. We're going to add a little bit of soy sauce in here as well. Add a little bit of soy sauce. A bit of soy sauce in here. A good amount. This is really going to help with the honey. In the soy sauce, it's a beautiful, delicious, sweet and tangy element that's created. It's delicious. It's so good. It's so good. It might be one of my favorite flavor combinations soy sauce and honey. All right, so as y'all can see, our mixture is in here. Now we're gonna kind of let this percolate for a couple minutes, and then we're gonna add a bit of water. Now I'm only showing you, and you really want to season to taste, right? Because this is our basically our seasoning base for our soup. So you want to season to taste. But I have quite a bit of broth left over from last night. I just wanted to show you on camera how the broth came along and not just explain it and put the ingredients on the screen. We wanted to go ahead and cook it together. So what we're going to actually do is, instead of adding water, actually let's add a little bit of water. Let's add a little bit of water. Move the camera over just a little bit. We're going to add a tinge of water. And again, because of the fact that I already have some pre-made broth, this is just a small batch of broth to show the process of making the broth for our tofu dumpling soup. If you're making it from scratch, you don't have any broth in your refrigerator, you would want to use ample seasoning and ample water to have enough broth for however many servings you wanna make. You're preparing. So y'all, I used to deliver orders for a delivery service. I used to deliver food orders, and I would frequent an Asian restaurant, an Asian cuisine restaurant in my city. And the food always smelled so delicious and flavorful, and the restaurant was always packed. Always packed. Every time I went in there to pick up an order, it was filled to capacity. And I would look at the dishes on the table, and they always look so vibrant and delicious. And that's what this broth really reminds me of. It reminds me of delicious, flavorful, Asian style cuisine. So I'm super excited that we now know how to make this at home. A delicious, just packed with vibrant flavor. So satiating soup. So as you can see, packed with flavor. And there's another restaurant that I really enjoy visiting, an Asian cuisine restaurant that I enjoy visiting. Actually, when I took my first trip to Canada, to Toronto, the food was so delicious. Pie on Duncan Street, P-A-I, Thai food on Duncan Street. It was so delicious. I was in Toronto for about 3 to 4 days. The food was so good that I told myself I'm not leaving the city without eating this cuisine again, because it's packed with so much flavor, and it was such a cool experience. I was intuitively guided to step outside of my box and do something different. So I had bamboo shoots. I had a bamboo shoot dish. It was packed with flavor, and it was so delicious. And that's what this cuisine really reminds me of. Really tasty Asian food. Really tasty. Yeah, so we have our broth here, as y'all can see. Now let's go back over to the island and go ahead and form our tofu dumplings to add into our soup. All right, y'all, so we're gonna go ahead and begin to make our dumplings. Yeah, I should probably open up our tofu. We're gonna begin to make our dumplings, and then we have our soup that we just prepared boiling on our stove behind us. We're gonna begin to prepare our dumplings. So we're just gonna pinch off some of our dumpling dough from yesterday. And we have the dumpling dough we prepared earlier, still resting on the side.
Remember going through my heart space. I've awakened illuminated days. Galactic magician, goddess. Heart knows no limitation. Like what is gravity? What is gravity? Relax into love. I come in peace, we go in peace. Access, balance, and wellness for all. I have fears, I'll be coming. So wise will pass the bus. I'm really conscious. Too low for the illumination of our limitless nature. To forge more of you. Limitless creature. Humanity. Majesty, alchemy, with this your energy, creating this universe in your life, the blood made, and rejuvenation of all things. Yes. Majesty, alchemy, with this your this your energy, create yours universally alive, the blood made, and rejuvenation of all things. Yeah.
All right, y'all. So y'all see that our tofu soup is boiling hot. We're gonna go ahead and add our dumplings in the mixture. Yummy, yummy, yummy dumplings. Add them in here. Gonna boil for about until the dumpling gets nice and fluffy. They begin getting a little sticky. Give me a second, y'all. I had a little conversation before bringing them over here, so they got a little sticky. So we're gonna incorporate our dumplings into our stew, our soup. All right, y'all, 2 more dumplings. 2 more dumplings. I'm rather quiet. I'm going through a few spiritual upgrades. We know them as ascension symptoms. So I'm vibing out. I'm being at peace, regulating my energy. Clean up our little flour that fell around the stove. Ooh. Let's go ahead and kind of get all of our dumplings in the solution, in the broth solution. Baby, I took it to science class. Get all of our dumplings into the broth, our soup. We're going to put our lid on here and let it boil for a few minutes. Again, until our dough gets nice and fluffy, delicious, satiating. All right, y'all. I hope you are enjoying this edition. I hope you're enjoying this edition of Magic Meals with me, Ashley-Nicole Phillips. Before we plate our bowl, our tofu dumpling soup, utilizing our mystery ingredient taco seasoning, I want to invite y'all to come partake in my music. I'm also a singer-songwriter. Ashley-Nicole Music. My catalog of music is available to stream on YouTube. I heal myself and I channel my healing energies and messages within the music in order to assist us in this time of rapid evolution, rapid remembrance into our limitless potentials, having bouts of satori or spiritual awakening, or remembrance of our limitless formless form while we're in form, manifested, incarnated as human beings of planet Earth. I also am an author. I authored the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, which was a part of my spiritual awakening journey. It's a 3-part book series. The first 2 parts are Asia's story. Asia is a teenage girl growing up in the New York City foster care system. She's catalyzed onto her spiritual awakening journey when she meets her twin flame Chase in the hallway of her school Manhattan Prep. She goes through a lot of existential crises. But these existential crises assist her to waking up to her limitless nature. Does it sound familiar? It's humanity's story. We're all understanding everything that we've experienced in our reality is to evolve us into more, up-level our divine manuscripts. I'm talking new lines, dialogue so riveting. Ooh, those lyrics are from my song Selling at Wands. Now streaming Epoch the album on Ashley-Nicole Music on YouTube. You know, reality is it's a play, or it's a divinely mastered orchestration. Everything that we experience, everything we say, everything we do, everywhere we go, everywhere we show up, it was already intended and it was already projected to happen, to evolve our soul spaces. So now we're getting new lines, dialogue so riveting, our divine manuscripts, where we're becoming more evolved beings. We are more evolved beings, and we're remembering becoming more evolved beings to live a limitless, abundant reality. No death, no disease, no war, no ephemeral peace, no poverty. The Kingdom Things Podcast 2033 Prophecy. Let's go ahead and plate our soup, bowl our soup. All right, y'all. So our dumplings are looking really yummy and chewy. You know what this looks like, y'all? Tabuka. The soup that's going viral. And where's that soup from? Japan? It's going viral. And I was like, babe, every video that I see somebody eating tabuka, they eat it. They eat them noodles. They eat that tabuka, baby, like it makes it look really good. Eat the tabuka like it, baby. It's the most tasty thing in the world, and it does look like it. The most satiating food in the world. It looks like it. It's Sabuka noodles. This is what this looks like, and I'm really excited because when I made them earlier and yesterday, I didn't roll them up this big. So look, we have our noodles, and we're gonna pour our broth over top. How's the angle looking like? What's the angle looking like? We need closer, further back. Bring over top. Do our broth. Yummy. Whoa. And here we have it, y'all. Look at our tofu dumpling noodle soup. Tofu dumpling soup. Utilizing our taco seasoning as our mystery ingredient. Yum. All right, y'all. Here's the final taste test. We let our soup cool down. Our soup gets really hot. Make sure y'all let it cool down because this morning maybe I was burning my lip and tongue because it was just so satiating and so delicious. And I had to let it cool down. So make sure you don't burn your tongue on your soup. Tofu dumpling soup. All right, let's go ahead and taste test this, y'all. Mmm. 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 Interesting combination of flavors. I will say the dumpling is delicious. The dumpling dough, it's delicious. It's easy. It's not. You don't have to try so hard about it. It's satisfying. I will say the taco seasoning, if you didn't tell me it was taco seasoning, I would think you just seasoned up the tofu really good. But since I know it's taco seasoning, my mind was like, okay, I'm eating tofu dumpling soup with taco seasoning. It's really good, y'all. Mmm. 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 We did it. We did it. We did it. Yay. We literally had our secret ingredient. We didn't waffle. We didn't get scared. We didn't say, no, I'm not doing that. No, we're not going to use a taco seasoning. How can we use taco seasoning and tofu dumpling soup? We didn't say that. We took to the challenge like warriors. And we did it. Y'all try the tofu dumpling soup with whatever your secret ingredient is. Come back in the comments. Let me know where I can go see a picture, a video of your soup. Thank y'all so much for joining me on this episode rendition of Magic Meals with me, Ashley-Nicole Phillips. The last offering, I do channel energies and messages using my spiritual gifts within Oneness Connection energetic upliftment to help break through any limiting beliefs, karmic knots, dense energies in our system to align with more of our limitless potentials in nature. Oneness Connection energetic upliftment is available to stream for free on YouTube. It's linked below. I love you. Love on yourself. Self-love is the best love because you have to love yourself in the way in which you want your reality to love you back. Self-love is the best love because you are loving your truth. Choose to give that love to yourself first. Self-love is the best love because it helps you perceive more of your limitless nature. I'm going to see y'all later. Bye.
My name is Asia, and I'm a teenage witch. Just kidding. I am a starseed. My story is much like humanity's story. I awakened to some pretty spectacular things about myself. Coming home, the story of Asia, followed by the story of Asia, I'm home. The book series that introduces the book. After returning from a day's trip, I have read my Atom's letter. He speaks of my father releasing him from imprisonment and the fate of death. He pleads for us to run away together. This plea is one of which I make no state to decline. My other half, available in the Amazon bookstore. I feel as though I was born here on Earth to find you. I was created to find my person. The Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, now available in the Amazon bookstore. Yeah.
In our home fries. On pastry dough. So we did happy birthday. God, the Most High, white light, creator, or source.
We are one, the found, yeah, the found.